believe you are in safe position. You are very well by the grace of Allah. And that's why we have to say Alhamdulillah, Summa Alhamdulillah. My dear students, we are reading an important chapter, which is concept of mole, from my previous lecture, where I discussed about the molarity and molar solution. And today I'm going to show you the determination process of molarity from a solution, and how can I prepare a certain an expected solution, wanted solution. Let's see. How will you prepare 0.2 molar sodium chloride solution in a volumetric flask of 250 milliliter? I repeat again. How will we prepare 0.2 molar sodium chloride solution in a volumetric flask of 250 milliliter? So I believe you have understood. Let's go. How will we prepare? How will you or we prepare 0.2 molar 0.2 molar sodium chloride solution in a volumetric flask of a volumetric flask of 250 milliliter. How will we prepare 0.2 molar sodium chloride solution in a volumetric flask of 250 milliliter volumetric flask of 250 milliliter? How will we prepare, my dear? I believe you have understood the question. What is your demand? How will we prepare 0.2 molar sodium chloride solution in a volumetric flask of 250 milliliter? My dear students, there are different sizes bottle or volumetric flask, like 1000 milliliter volumetric flask, 250 milliliter, and also we can understand 100 milliliter volumetric flask. Okay, so it will be better if I can show you, and I can also show you after a few times. I will show the volumetric flask, inshallah. What is a volumetric flask? You can see the figure like this. This is volumetric flask. Okay, my dear. This type of volumetric flask you can see in laboratory. This is 250 milliliter. Here is marking 250 milliliter. How will we prepare 0.2 molar sodium chloride solution in a volumetric flask of 250 milliliter? If you want to solve this, you have to know the amount of solute. What amount of solute we have to take here? We have to take here, my dear students. At first, we have to write here given part. What is given here? The first condition, my dear students, number 1, given. Just after a few minutes, I will show you volumetric flask. Given. Volume will be 250 milliliter solution. V for volume. V for volume, my dear. You can write here also. Volume V. And molar M. Molar or molarity or concentration 0.2 molar. Here it's given. The unit of molarity, capital M. Yes. The unit of molarity is capital M. Different sizes volumetrics are given here. Please bring another one, smaller one. So given V equal 250 milliliter and molar 0.2 molar, and molecular mass, sorry my dear students, M will be molecular mass. So instead of M, here we have to give here S, molar concentration. This is called molarity or molar concentration. Molarity or molar concentration. Okay. And BMS, molecular mass of sodium chloride. Molecular mass of sodium chloride, you know, 58.5. How? Just see that the mass of sodium according to Z.H, 11 into 2 plus 1, double plus 1 plus 35.5. So mass will be, my dear students, 58.5. I believe you have understood. So given volume 250 milliliter, concentration 0.2 molar, and molecular mass, this is M molecular mass, this is M molecular mass, this is 58.5, 58.5, 58.5, my dear students. And now, what amount of solute we have to take in this container? What amount of solute we have to take in this container? This is amount of solute will be amount of solute will be W equal what? W equal what? My dear students, listen to me carefully. What is given here? Given volumetric plus volume V 250 milliliter, molarity or molar concentration here is shown as 0.2 molar, and molecular mass also you can write here. Molecular mass, sorry. Okay, let's undo. Okay, molecular mass sodium chloride will be, molecular mass of sodium chloride will be 58.5. So we have got V volume, concentration S, molecular mass M. So we have to determine the amount of solute which have to take in this volumetric flask of 250 milliliter. Let's solve the problem, then we'll show the volumetric flask. Okay, let's go, my dear students. We can solve it by unitary method or formula. So we have to use formula. We know, please you have to recite and memorize the formula. We know W equal VMS. ভদ্র মেয়েদের স্কুল হাজারে একটা, it will be women there. So my dear, this is a technique, and you know about the ভদ্র মহিলা সংস্থা, ভদ্র মহিলা স্কুল, number 1, women there, number 1, VNS, and definitely okay, it will be number 1 in 1000. So my dear, if you know Vikarnasa Nuni School and College, Vikarnasa Nuni School, which is for women, so you can understand this formula, which is similar women there Bhodro Meder School Hajare Ekta, which is similar to the Bhodro Narider School women there, or VNS Vikarnasa Nuni School and College, which is be calculated in 1000. Really, number 1 for women. So my dear, if you know this, you can apply this. So what is V? This is volume. What is M? This is molecular mass. What is S? Concentration. Clear? So vital magician is called in 1000, number 1, and it will be for women. So women's vital magician is called in 1000. So through the different way we can recite and memorize. And if you try to apply another technique, please, you have to watch the class of G.H to solve this problem. So women there Bhodro Mohila Samostha Hajare Ekta in 1000, it will be number 1, and for women W equal VMS or VNS. It's similar to each other. So my dear, let's put the value of V. You know 2050 milliliter and mass 58.5 and concentration 0.2. Sorry, 0.2 molar, 0.02 molar, and we can undo. Okay, 0.2 molar, and it will be calculated in 1000. So my dear, it's an easiest way to determine the value will be 2.925. You can calculate this is the amount of solute, just 4 times and 2 will go 2. So you know, and it will be 2.925. Just you have to use your calculator, then you will get the result, inshallah. So my dear students, it's an easiest way to determine the amount of solute which will have to take in a volumetric flask to make the solution of 250 milliliter. 250 milliliter, my dear students. This is the volumetric flask. So this is the volumetric flask of 250 milliliter. Here is given the mark, round mark. This is the volumetric flask. Now also I can show another one. where is taken a solution for you. Yes, potassium dichromate, K2Cr2O7. Here you can see the volumetric flux. Potassium permanganate, sorry, here is taken potassium permanganate. Okay, you can see some crystal. My dear students, this is the volumetric flask, and now you have to take such kind of flask. At first you have to take this flask. You have to take this flask, which is 250 milliliter volumetric flask. Here is given 2.925 gram. 2.925 gram. You have to take the sodium chloride 2.925 gram by the balance machine. 2.925 gram at first you have to take here. Then you have to power the water. In a textbook it's given wrongly, where is described 250 milliliter water. No, solute plus solvent. Solute plus solvent equal 250 milliliter. Solute plus solvent equal 250 milliliter. So if you take solute 2.925 gram, so rest of the part will be solvent, which is not equal to the 250 milliliter. But my dear student, here we have to take 2.925 gram. Here we have to take 2.925 gram solute, amount of solute, 2.925 gram here you have to take. Then you have to mix water up to the level of 250 milliliter sign, but not the equal amount of water, which is 250 milliliter. Must you have to less than 250 milliliter. Total solute plus solvent will be 250 milliliter. So at first we have to take such kind of volumetric flask. And here you have to take 250 milliliter. Here we have to take 2.925 gram sodium chloride, and then we have to power the water and up to 250 milliliter. But this is not the amount of water, this is the amount of solution, solute plus solvent. In such a way we have to mix the water, we have to power some water in this container, then it will be your expected solution. So my dear students, I believe you have understood what is volumetric flask and how we can make the solution easily. I believe you have understood. At first we have to take the volumetric flask of 250 milliliter. Then we have to take 2.925 gram of sodium chloride, and we should power water up to the level of 250 milliliter. It means the amount of solvent will be less than 250 milliliter, but total solution will be solute plus solvent will be 250 milliliter. So a little correction for your textbook, where is given 250 milliliter water. No, this is not true. If it is 250 milliliter solution, then it's okay. But when we have to power 250 milliliter water, this is wrong concept, because solvent plus solute equal total volume of solution. So if the amount of solute 2.925 gram, then rest of the part will be water and total will be 250 milliliter. I believe you have understood properly and clearly, my dear students, and through my practical example of volumetric flask, I believe you have understood clearly. Let's go for the next mathematical problem. how much sodium chloride, sodium carbonate will remain in 0.1 molar solution of 250 milliliter. How much sodium chloride will present in 0.1 molar, 0.1 molar, it means decimolar sodium carbonate solution of 250 milliliter. It means question will be, shortly I have to show, volume 250 milliliter, 250 milliliter. Molecular mass of sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, will be 106. How? You know from our previous class, 23 into 2 plus 12 into 1 plus 16 into 3, it will be 106 gram. So this is the molecular mass of sodium carbonate. Okay. Now here is given the concentration 0.1 molar. So how much sodium carbonate is needed to prepare decimolar solution of 250 milliliter? A little bit different from the language of the first mathematical term, but both are same. We have to determine amount of W. So my dear students, again we know W, we know women's vital magician school number 1 in 1000. So W equal VMS, which is similar to the VNS. So V 250, so M 106, and S 0.1, and it will be 1000. So you can determine easily what's happening here, my dear students. Really fantastic matter. So for 6 divided 4. My dear students, amount of solute will be 2.65 gram. I believe you have understood the result easily, isn't it? So my dear students, Alhamdulillah, we have solved the mathematical problem of molarity easily. How can we determine the amount of solute, how much solute is present in 250 milliliter of 0.1 molar of sodium carbonate solution? So imagine that you have taken a beaker, of 250 milliliter instead of volumetric flask, where we have to take 2.65 gram of sodium carbonate. So the volume will be like this, not more than 250 milliliter. It will be, and water won't be 250 milliliter. Total volume of the solution will be 250 milliliter. So my dear, you have to take 2.65 gram sodium carbonate, and we have to power the water up to 250 milliliter level. Then the solution will be 0.1 molar. It means decimolar solution of sodium carbonate. So you can prepare now different volume, different molarities solution. Really, it's an amazing matter. From the first class of molarity, you can understand easily. Thanks, many thanks. Let's go for the next type of math. sometimes it may set in your question paper, what is the molarity? What is the molarity? What is the molarity? What is the molarity of 10 gram sodium carbonate of 2050 milliliter solution. So what is the molarity of 10 gram sodium carbonate of 250 milliliter solution, or 10 gram of sodium carbonate of 250 milliliter solution? What is the molarity? It means you have to determine the molar concentration. We have no enough time. Let's see quickly, my dear students, which can make your sense clear, I believe. So we know W ভদ্র মহিলা সংস্থা হাজারে একটা VMS, সুপ্রিয় শিক্ষার্থীবৃন্দ, ভদ্র মহিলা সংস্থা হাজারে একটা W equal VMS, ভদ্র মেয়েদের স্কুল হাজারে একটা, and it will be for women. I believe you have understood my technique and tricks so that you can apply in your exam. Now, cross multiplication. This is cross multiplication. S will be, shortly we can write here, W into 1000 divided ভদ্র মহিলা. So putting the value, you can get the result. W here is given 10 gram and 1000 as it is, and V will be, so my dear, V will be 250 milliliter, 106 gram. Already we have learned how to determine the molecular mass. Now let's see the result. So it will be 4. You can see that. Okay, so my dear, 40 divided 106. So result will be, you should use the calculator, just 40 divided 106, it will be 0.377, 0.38 molar. So S will be 0.38 molar. This is the result. This is the molarity. What is the molarity of 10 gram sodium carbonate, 10 gram of sodium carbonate of 250 milliliter solution? I believe you have understood properly and clearly. You should practice more. Such kind of question is given in a textbook as a task or problem. Please practice more so that you'll be better in your examination. This is the calculation. So you should take the proper decision. Alhamdulillah, it's my pleasure. I believe you have understood. Thank you very much. Not for today. Again, we'll see inshallah. Stay home, stay safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.